Okay, so now we're going to talk about the real deal, money management. Money management is something that I've always loved to teach because I'm very financially minded, I'm very security minded. Money to me equals more choices and less stress, and I'm sold out to both of those. It is not always the most common need for women, safety and security. I think we all have a little bit of it, but it's more actually of a male-dominated trait, just in my time in working with this. But I want you to understand, I remember a lot of consultants saying to me, my husband should just support me because this is something I want to do. Yes, I agree. But here's the deal. He's not supporting you because he's trying to be ornery. It's because he's probably very security-minded and he views this as a risk. It's not, but you do have to show him the money. Okay? And so here's what I want to talk to you. I've never met anybody that came into this and said, I don't want any money from it. Like, I have so much money, I just don't even need anymore. Nobody says that, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about what it takes to be financially successful in Mary Kay. Well, I already told you that it is about seeing the faces and holding the CSAs, attending meetings and events, and having some product. Okay, those are the three things to be successful. But you do need to manage your money well. So number one rule with money management is that you're going to need to keep your money separate. Okay? That means opening a separate checking account for your business. Do not put Mary Kay Cosmetics in any of the titles of your checkbooks because people, or checking accounts or savings accounts, any of your banking, never put Mary Kay Cosmetics on it because then the United States government thinks that Mary Kay Corporate is funneling money through your personal business, and that is not the truth. It creates a lot of problems with Mary Kay and the IRS. Okay? What you should do is call it maybe your pink account. Okay? And I will tell you, I think you need to open a free checking account that has a savings attached to it. That's my recommendation. These are all recommendations that I'm making for you based on my experience in 13 years as a Mary Kay beauty consultant, sales director, and now senior sales director with Offspring. This is what I've done. I'm not a CPA. My precursor to all of this is that this is from my experience. These are just my suggestions. Do with it as you so please. Okay? With that being said, believe you need to keep your money separate. I had a consultant not too long ago say to me, Grace, I'm going to have to get a different job. Mary Kay isn't paying me enough. I said, I don't understand how that can be. You just had a $1,000 commission check without your sales. She said, well, but our refrigerator broke. I said, how'd you pay for the refrigerator? She said, well, I used my commission check. See, she spent it before she knew she had it. Okay, there are certain steps that you need to take that keep your paperwork minimal, that help create a paper trail as a business owner, and that help you understand the significant profit of your business. Okay, how long would you show up to your other job if they didn't pay you? That's right, you would have quit yesterday. So we need to make sure you're paying yourself. Okay, so number one, you're going to need to keep your money separate. Number two is that you're going to need to do some organization with your records, okay? As Mary Kay Beauty consultants, business owners, we are held to a higher standard of record keeping. That means you're going to want to create a filing system. I have one of those boxes that has a little handle on it, and you can put the hanging files in it, and we have one of those for each tax year. So if you were to see it right now in my office, it says tax year 2015, and it has all of my hanging files in it for this year's tax information. We have one of those. You keep tax records for 7 years according to the United States government standards. And so if you were to come into my home right now and go down into our storage, you would see 7 years of records in those on the shelf right there. Now, let's talk about what I keep in those hanging files. There is one hanging folder in that little box for every calendar month, January through December, okay? In the front is one that says receipts. There's another one in the front that says mileage. So let's talk first about what we save according to the month. There are 4 things that you're going to keep, and they are based on the month in which the transaction occurred, okay? So number one thing that you are going to keep for your business is the invoice for product. So whenever you get an order from Mary Kay Cosmetics, you're going to receive an invoice. It has a list of all the product that came in that order. Never ever throw those away. You're going to file those according to the month in which you ordered the product. There even was one in your starter kit. Keep that too. So invoices from the company for all the product that you have purchased from Mary Kay. Now, number 2, you're going to keep sales tickets. Every time you sell product to a customer, there is going to be a sales ticket created. You pull out one of the middle copies for the customer. You keep the rest of it for yourself. We keep those in a stack inside of the hanging folder for that month. The newest one goes on the bottom. That way they're in chronological order. So I have the 1st of the month through the 31st of the month. We just keep adding them, clip them together. They go in the month in which they occurred. So at any given time, I can go into that folder, that accordion folder, pull out February, and grab all of the tickets for product I sold to a customer in February, the 1st through the 28th or 29th if it's a leap year, okay? Now, the next thing we're gonna keep, a hard copy of the weekly accomplishment sheet. There's an entire video training on weekly accomplishment sheets, how to complete them, and I recommend that you do so every single time that you sell a product. Automatically add it in to your weekly accomplishment sheet. Doing so keeps it easy, keeps it simple, and you sell an enormous amount more product because you have your business in the forefront of your mind at all times. Every week, at the end of our week, which our weeks in Mary Kay run from Sunday to Saturday, when the week is done and all of the product that I've sold has been entered into my weekly accomplishment sheets on Mary Kay InTouch, I'm able to print a hard copy of it. What's cool is that I can match up all my sales tickets against my weekly accomplishment sheet to make sure that I, in fact, added everything in and I have it all accounted for. So it's a great system of checks and balances. Now, 4th thing that we're going to keep on a monthly basis, commission check stubs. In Mary Kay, when you decide to build a team, the company actually compensates you for marketing the company and helping that new consultant to build her business. This is a beautiful thing because the company is going to pay you out of the company's profit. This is not a pyramid. The company does not take away from your sales force to pay you. The company looks at how successful that consultant becomes and gives you a portion of the company's profit. This is very generous and it ranges all the way from a 4% commission all the way to 26% commission. That's extremely generous. Most companies, their top sales force members receive about 2%, and we start at 4%. Huge. Okay, the company's gonna pay you a commission check. As a consultant, you'll be paid once a month. As a sales director, twice a month. We keep those commission check stubs so that at any time, I have a record of all my incoming money and all my outgoing money in one place. Now, let's talk about 2 things. Let's talk about receipts. Anytime that you have an expense in your business, you're going to have a receipt for it. This can be anything from ink for your printer, to paper, to hair ties, cotton balls, Q-tips, whatever you need for your business, a filing cabinet, okay? You are gonna have a receipt for that. These can be tax deductions. What you need to understand, you have to have a receipt for it. So you're gonna keep your receipt, highlight the expense, and receipts, they don't get filed according to the month in which the expense occurred. They get filed according to the type of expense it was. So here are a few categories that we have. Postage, In my business, I've moved a couple times. I have customers everywhere. We have no geographic territories. So I ship a lot of product to my customers that live in the communities where I used to live. So I will pop it into a bubble mailer, put it in through the United States Postal Service, and they will send it to my customers. I keep a running track of all the postage I have, clipped all those receipts together, newest one on the bottom so that they're in chronological order. And at any time, I can find a postage receipt if I need it because it's right there, clipped with all the other postage receipts. Travel and events. Let's say that you come to new consultant training and you travel to do so. You're going to be able to write off, let's say you stop for lunch. That will be a tax deduction. Let's say that it costs you to go to that training. You get to write that off. Let's say that you attend seminar in Dallas and you have a plane ticket, hotel, and registration cost. Tax deductions. You're going to take your receipts for those, clip them together, and again, those are going to be tax deductions. Some other receipts that you're going to have or categories for expenses, those would be things like business supplies. This could be anything from cotton balls to Q-tips to a filing cabinet, ink for your printer. These are just a few kinds of expenses that you're going to have. At the end of the year, there's going to be a sheet that comes out for me in January. This is something I do as a courtesy, okay? I'm not a CPA. I cannot answer your tax questions. But I do tell you that it is not an enormous feat to do your taxes, and this can be a beautiful tax shelter for your family. We've been able to keep a lot more of the money that we make because of these awesome deductions. One of the things that is not up here that I would highly recommend, utilities. If you have an office in your home, you can write off part of your utilities. Your cell phone, your long distance, your DSL, things like that. Okay, utilities. But one of the things I want you to understand is that you will get a paper from me. It helps you figure out the numbers you need. You're going to be able to find all the numbers you need for tax time from this binder that you're keeping throughout the year so that at the end of the year, you're not scrambling, okay? And I know that personally, I bring in, usually every year, a tax preparer to give some advice, do a workshop, and so I highly recommend attending that event. Okay, with that said, these are the ways that you're going to keep things prepared for tax season. If you do them as you go, it makes much more simple, okay? There's one more expense that you're going to need to track, and that is mileage. Mileage is kept in a little notebook that you would keep in your car. You write down the mileage on your odometer when you leave. Let's say it's to come to an event that your director is having or a meeting. You write down the mileage when you leave. You write down the mileage when you get back home. You track how many miles that was, like from start to finish. How many miles did you drive? You write it in there, and next to it, you write why you were gone. Weekly meeting, Davenport. Weekly meeting, Des Moines. Whatever it is, you can write it down. Delivering product, attending an event, getting supplies for the business. Whatever it is, you're going to keep track of your mileage. Mileage is a wonderful deduction, and you can be smart. My husband, okay, does a lot of the deliveries. He goes to work in the cities, delivers the product after work, drives home. Did he go to work? Yes. But is he getting to write off the trip? Yes, because he delivered the product. Use your noggin, okay? So let's talk a little bit about how we manage the money. Yes, we have record keeping. Yes, we need to keep that. Let's talk about how we manage the money. Managing the money is done best on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. If you are not managing your money, you're not paying yourself, and that's no fun. But also what happens is that when you don't pay yourself, you can fool yourself about how much you're working or not working. So let's talk about paying yourself every 2 weeks. And when you do that, you start to see the huge blessing that your business can provide financially. I have a checking account with a savings account attached. Let's say this is my money bag. This is my money bag. Attached to it are my two accounts. This account over here is going to be called my pink account. This one over here, my green account. The pink account is the checking account. The pink account is the checking account. The green account would be the savings. Now, this is important. The pink account has a debit card and a checkbook. A debit card and a checkbook on the pink account. The green account has a checkbook. That's important. This is really important. And I will tell you that we use a silver marker. I have it right here on my desk. Silver marker. And we write on the debit card and the checkbook what account it belongs to so we can track it. They always stay in the same place in my office so it's easy to get to. Now, let me show you what it looks like when I manage my money. Every week, step number 1. I deposit all my sales money into the pink account. This is also attached to my ProPay account so that my money gets deposited into there, okay? So this is my pink account. I get my money gets deposited into there. Let's say this week I sold $1,000 because Grace is not a math major, but I can work with that number. So I sold $1,000 in product. What's happened to my shelf? Well, now my shelf is missing some product. I took the product off my shelf, I handed it to the customer, they handed me the cash or check or card. What you need to understand is that I can't just spend all that $1,000. That's not all profit, because if I don't put product back on my shelf to fill in those gaps, now I have gaps, and next time someone needs a cleanser, I may not be able to give it to them because there's a hole on my shelf. I have to put that product back, okay? So $1,000 is in my hot little hand. I've got holes on my shelf. What am I gonna do? I've deposited all profits, okay? All money, all my sales, all of the cards, everything gets dumped down into this pink account. So now it's in my pink account. I've got $1,000 in that account. Step number 2, this is important. You're going to do a transfer of 40% into the green account. Why would you transfer 40% into the green account? Y'all, this is your paycheck. You have to pay yourself. So I'm going to move 40% of $1,000, which is $400, into that green account. I made it the green account because it's my profit, okay? So now I have $400 over here that's going to be my paycheck, okay? Third step, super important. We are going to use the debit card or the pink account to place an order. Okay, so I'm going to use this debit card to place an order to fill in the holes on my shelf. Now, why do I make you use a debit card? Well, that debit card, there's only $600 in this account now. I moved 400 of it over. You can't buy what you don't have money for. So if you sold $1,000, you don't need more than $600 to buy your product. Now, some people will say to me, well, Grace, why not 50% into savings? Well, here's the thing. Every business has expenses. You're going to need some samples. You're going to need some, disposable trays, washcloths, things like that. You're going to have shipping costs. If you leave 10% in there, you're always covered. And I don't want you pulling out of your personal account to pay the expenses. This is completely self-contained. There's no reason for this to not work. So there's $600 in this account. You sold $500 wholesale, $1,000 retail, and product. We got to put it back. Got to put it back. So now our product has been replaced. We've been paid. What next? Step number 4, deposit commission. When you have a commission check because you're building a team, the company's going to pay you a profit for helping that consultant build her business. That doesn't get split. It goes directly into the green account. Let's say you have a $150 commission check. That is complete profit, okay? So now this account has $550 in it. You're going to do the 5th step, which is to write a physical paycheck. Why a physical paycheck? Okay, you write a physical paycheck because transferring money, you don't ever process mentally that you've written yourself a paycheck. And men argue this with me all the time, and what they forget is that the female psyche is involved. Women cannot process a transfer of money. When they see a physical paycheck, they realize that they have added money to their account and they feel great about it. So what I am suggesting is that you take this pay and we're going to write, using this checkbook, a physical paycheck. Now let me tell you, the weeks when you don't sell anything and you have to write yourself a $0 paycheck, not so fun, but you don't do it very often because it's not so fun. But here's the question. Do you get to write yourself a check for that whole amount? Well, that depends. Are you profit level? What does profit level mean? Profit level means that you have paid off all the initial investments that you made to start your business. Many of you are wisely going to invest in some product. That means you're going to use a bank loan or a credit card or repay yourself to savings money that you use to start your business. Up here, you have, some of you, an investment cost. Let's say you came in as a Ruby Star consultant. As a Ruby Star, you have $2,900 in investment up here. Very smart investment, but you can't write yourself a full paycheck if this isn't paid off. So let's talk about what this means. We need to pay this off. Now you have 2 options. Let's say that you don't need your Mary Kay money. You have another job, whatever your situation is, you don't need your Mary Kay money. I would chuck this entire profit at that amount until it's gone. Because the faster it's gone, the faster this becomes complete profit. If you were to do this several weeks in a row, sell $1,000 in product several weeks in a row, chuck in $550 at a $2,900 investment, within a couple weeks it would be paid off. But let's say you're in the second option, which means you need your Mary Kay money to pay bills, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna chop your profit in half. And half of it is gonna go to pay off this investment. Half of it is gonna go to pay off this investment, and the other half is gonna get deposited into your family account. So when I do my banking, I literally write a physical paycheck from my business account. I write it from this account to the Mark and Grace Lemke family account. And I can look in that checkbook register, in our personal checkbook register, my husband and I's personal checkbook register. And I used to write it in red, and then he had a conniption. Apparently that's not a good thing to see red in your checkbook. So now I write it in purple. All my deposits from my business into my family checkbook are written in purple. I don't have a lot of guilt about going to work my business because I can see $1,000, $100, $500, $700, $1,200, whatever it is. I see them all written there. I can see where my business has paid my family. You guys, this is a cash cow. My husband's paycheck never changes. It's always going to be the same. I'm very grateful that he has a job that he loves. But here's the deal. It's never going to be more. We're never going to get like a fun surprise where it's more. It is what it is. My business is the one that can change. So when we need something, I'm the one who can make more. Okay? So I want you to understand, yes, this business is fun and friends and personal fulfillment and foo-foo shishi and dressing up and all that, but it's also a cash cow. It is financial, and there is no reason to not use this to pay your family. I don't care if it starts out, my first paycheck to myself was $37, but that was a start. My highest commission check with the company so far is $11,300 for 1 month. That was my commission check. That did not count my sales. That month I grossed $17,000 for my family. Now I had expenses, and my final paycheck that month was right at $12,000. I want you to understand, I started with the 37, I built to the 12,000. My goal this year is to have an $18,000 profit check. I couldn't think about that starting out, but because I had this system in place, I built it. I built it. You can build it. But money management matters. And if you're still confused on this, call me. I will help you. Watch this video multiple times. Be okay with messing up and fixing it. But don't miss out on the investment, the tracking, and taking it a step at a time. Write yourself the physical paycheck and have that feeling of pride when you contribute to your family's income. Every year at Christmas time, we have a cash-free Christmas. And what I mean by that is that I use my Mary Kay business to pay for our entire Christmas. Every gift that everybody gets comes from my Mary Kay business. That means I sell enough product so that I can cover every Christmas present. There is no guilt. I have it all in cash, and my husband and I take a date day. We go shopping, we go out to lunch, and at the end we go to a movie. And I will tell you, we have the greatest time. There's no guilt, there's no stress, there are no credit cards on January 1st that make me want to throw up. You can use this business in whatever regard you want, but my goodness, pay yourself. Learn how to write your own paycheck so that for the rest of your life, nobody else ever tells you how much you can make.